Good evening, I'm Sherry Conable. I've spent many, many hours in this room, and I haven't been here since Catherine and Don were reelected to the council, but Occupy Santa Cruz brought me here tonight. I want to ask you, number one, to dig deeper than the health and safety card. All of us who've participated in the public process know that that card is very easy to play. This is a nationwide, a very thoughtful, a very deep, a very provocative, a very essential awakening that's happening in this country. I believe if you really were able to talk to the vast majority of people in the city of Santa Cruz, there is widespread support for this. I would ask you, as our representatives, in our name, expressing the will of the people of this city, which is what you're here for, to continue to support this movement. I'd ask the people in the room who are here to ask you to support this movement and work with it. Please to stand.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. That concludes oral communications. The council will now adjourn to the next regular schedule. Sorry.
I want to say
Sure.
I think it's really important. First of all, I think it's really important for folks to know that oral communications normally is a time when we just listen. And so I know it's sometimes frustrating when you come up and make suggestions and questions and demands and don't get it.
Hold on. Listen, we're not going to have anybody shout out. Robert, you've been warned. The next time you speak out, I'm going to have you removed from the chamber. We listen to you. I think we expect you to listen to us. Okay.
So as I was saying, it is frustrating in this context then, because we as some of you who follow the council know, we can't take action on items, suggestions that come up during oral communications.
All right. So that's us, the police, to try to figure out who it was that yelled out. They're warned if you can figure out who they are, and then please, I'm going to ask you again, if we're going to have a civil dialogue that so many of you asked for, this is one of the ways that we do it.
So as I was saying, that we don't always have a chance to act on the requests that people make during oral communications, but I just want to take this opportunity because I know so many people are concerned about this to just say a few personal reactions. One is, I think there is widespread support on the City Council for the principles of Occupy Wall Street and Occupy Santa Cruz and the overall political goals as much as we can understand them. But, and I know this is the part that gets difficult, is that we do have a city park that is genuinely being damaged. And
All right.
I listened during the entire time without interrupting anyone, and it would really be appreciated if I could just complete my comments without any outbursts. One of the things, for instance, that I've noticed when I've gone by Occupy Santa Cruz is that there's a porta potty parked right on Ocean Street, and for some unknown reason, 2 different times that I've gone there, it's been locked. So I don't know what that's about, but I think it represents a problem that we're all having, which is that we haven't figured out a way to manage the physical site there in a way that protects the park, which is something really important to the community. And so I would like to urge folks to work with the city, whether it's by the permit itself or not, to recognize that there are conditions about how people are behaving and how people are treating the park that are a legitimate concern of the community, and that we would address those in a constructive way and not just see this as a battle over whether there's a permit or not. The permit is a device that the city has to make its requests to the people in the park about how to use the park in an appropriate way. And so we really should talk about that in a serious way, whether we get caught up in the permit or not. I also want to mention one other challenge, which is more than 2 weeks ago, I was invited to come down to the steps of the courthouse to meet with a committee of Occupy Santa Cruz that was to deal with external communications, so that I might facilitate some positive communication between the city and the Occupy Santa Cruz group. I came to that meeting, we had a good discussion, I gave folks my phone number, I said I'd like to, see if we could create a permanent set of contacts. I also got the phone number of the person who convened the group. He said he would discuss with others who would be the occupied point of contact, and then we would proceed from there. He never called me back. And then when I called him just to check what's going on and left a message, he still did not call me back. So I'm not saying that's not to blame anyone, but I want you to recognize that the city has a real challenge in how we can have a positive communication with the Occupy group, because there's not, you've decided to be an unstructured consensus-based group, but that means there aren't leaders and there aren't representatives. And that presents a real challenge for us. We need to know who we can talk to who actually represents the group. And that has not been facilitated up to now. So these are just challenges. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. I'm just saying this is why things haven't evolved as smoothly as we would like. So I came down to the General Assembly last night. I've been to a couple of other ones earlier on. I will continue to try and meet with people. It would be very helpful for me, you know how to reach me, if you would indicate who is authorized, even if it's just in a temporary way, to speak with us. I think there are other council members who would be willing to do that as well. So we do want to work this out. It really isn't, I know you all couch it as a free speech issue. To me, the city has no interest in interrupting anybody's free speech. We do want to protect the park, and it's not being protected at the status quo. Thank you.